Hey everyone, welcome to another stream. Today we will have the third and final race of the 1957 season in the classic rally competition. So it's been quite a bit of fun for me so far. The amount of variety that we have with the cars, in spite of the fact that it's only a rear-wheel drive and up to 1600 cc with 304 cylinders. So the rules were fairly simple, but there weren't. There were still enough options that I feel like the variety we got here in cars was actually pretty cool, and we'll see how the last race is gonna go because Italy mixed hill climb has some parts of the track that are on tarmac, and then some which are off road, of course, and so. That will be that'll be pretty interesting to see who does best there. I'm starting beam right now. Sorry for that. And I'm gonna switch over as well. Where is it? There it is. I don't know. Whenever you click out of the game window from beam, it goes into window mode, and then I have to go. Then when I go back in, I have to put it in full screen again. Anyway, so is this gonna be time? I'm gonna close my web browser now. So sorry if I'm gonna have to make this noise one last time for now. So I'm gonna go to Italy, and like yesterday, I'm gonna do a warm-up run. And today my warm-up run is gonna be in one of my own sort of reference cars. I think I'm gonna choose this one. The rules video for the 1964 season will come out today in exactly 2 hours from now, actually. It's already been scheduled. Okay, so the Italy mixed hill climb is it's gonna take quite a while because the track is so long. It's I think we're gonna be looking at around 7.5 minutes for a good run here, and yeah. So let's get started. I think everything should be loaded in by now. I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds just to make sure. Okay, and here we go. Whoa, little bit of a yeah, it did fishtail there a little bit. Hey, Opel Safira, how's it going? You joined right in time to see me crash this car. So this is a warm-up round, by the way. This is one of my own cars, so it's outside of the competition, but this is just to make me familiar with the track again. There's gotta be a joke about the Ford Galaxy, a Noble Zafira, and the 57 Chevy sedan on one stream. Yeah. So, and that is no coincidence, because I did once have sort of a series in automation where I made cars under under the brand name of Marina, and they made it was a sort of British lightweight sports car manufacturer, and I should have paid more attention there to that rock. I thought I was gonna clear it, but I didn't. This car is actually, you know, it is generally a pretty small car, but here the track is so narrow. Man, I drove this a lot when I recorded the rules video for this challenge, and you can see it that parts of it have taken place here. This seems like a low grip course. I think it's partly also the car, so I feel like with this car a lot of courses seem low grip. Man, I don't want to imagine the Halpin Scorpian here, or the LLMC car. I don't wanna jinx it now. Like, they could be amazing. Like, they could be surprisingly good here for some reason, but I feel like I broke something about the rear suspension that makes this thing way more unstable than it otherwise should be. Yeah, it's already wobbling here as well, so I did definitely break something. Yeah, this car is not this slidey normally. I would know because I built it. Also pulls to the left now, which doesn't help. Yep, okay. Right. Great warm-up run. Let's start with the first car. Anyway. So, this first card that we have here was not among the best in the first two races, and I think I remember myself kind of struggling with this one as well. You gotta go? Oh, well, you can always watch the VOD on Twitch later or tomorrow. So you can just watch it back, you know. There's no rush. Now normally, until I break the suspension of a car, I like cars that slide, because at least with this one so far, I've been able to control it. I've been able to control the slide. Now that doesn't really make it fast, because drifting is always slower on tarmac. But coming out of that hairpin was relatively good. What's not so good about this car is the brake balance, and also the brake force in general. It doesn't stop very well. I mean, if it only wants to go around these hairpins sideways, then I'll go around sideways, but it's usually not the fastest way. Though, who knows, uphill it might be, because you keep the engine revving high. So with these small engines, it might be an advantage to keep the engine RPM up, because there's obviously not that much torque. Okay, now here we gotta be careful, because... Yep, okay, it did reasonably well there. Actually not that bad here, but here I need to make a little bit of a make a different maneuver there. Had to use the handbrake to get around. Close to the rock there, but you know, use all of the track to try and keep the momentum going. Which is scary when on one side of the track, and the track isn't very narrow, but on one side there's like a cliff that's gonna kill you, and on the other side there's a massive rock. So using all of the track is, when there's not very much of it, is a bit of a tough ask. Oh, nearly hit the rock on the inside there. Okay. Yeah, now we got a little bit of a problem. The car still seems fine though. So it's just a flesh wound, you know. Okay, I thought I could hold it. This car is fairly small. Actually, I don't think so. I think it's one of the larger cars here in terms of width, because obviously the length doesn't really matter here that much. Unless you're fully sideways in one of those corners, which... Come on, understeer. which usually you're not fully, like you are gonna be drifting, but you're not gonna be, you know, your sliding angle isn't gonna be 90 degrees, you know. It's gonna be like 30, 40, 50 degrees maybe. Come on now. This is the sort of thing about this car. The front end feels very loose, and that has been the case ever since the very beginning, so it does kind of tend to understeer a bit when entering the corner, so you have to get on the power, and then it oversteers immediately. You saw how little throttle I used there at the when I started rolling it in, and it went sideways. So there is very little rear grip in this one. We have definitely seen better cars in that regard in the previous races. Although maybe the surface is different here, but then again this was already a slidey boy in the first two races. We're close to the finish line, I think. So usually I think this is gonna be a bit behind my times that I set with my reference car off camera, which is I think is 7:33 or something like that. So yeah, that time has passed, but I know we're not far from the finish line now. I think that red checkpoint you see in the distance there, I think that's the last checkpoint before the finish line. I think the gap between like the fast cars here and the lesser cars here is going to be even wider than on any other track, because it is just so complicated, this track, and so long, that any weakness is going to result in an even larger gap here. 8:17. Okay. Right, next up the Armor Motor Business Coupe. This came second place in the first two races, so it will definitely be a major player on this track as well, assuming I can keep it together. I think this will do very well here. And yeah, I think that its main advantage here is going to be its very good drivability. It's very light and very easy to, very controllable, very drivable. And I think that will make this a top contender here. So see, this for some reason does not oversteer there at all. It also accelerates much more quickly than the previous car, I feel like. So it's quicker through the hairpins and it's quicker out of the hairpins as well. Bit too tight on that one. but we're fine. Have I tried getting more people in the community and competitions by posting on Facebook? A long time ago, yes, but it didn't make a difference. So, I haven't posted on my Facebook page in probably 3 years, because even when I was active and I was, you know, and I was uploading automation almost every day, and making tons of content and, you know, memes and stuff like that, even then I only got to like 20 likes on my Facebook page. So I was like, you know what? Running a Facebook page doesn't seem worth it. Doesn't seem worth the time. I know there are more than 20 people who like cars. And I know there are more than 20 people in the world who play automation as well. I mean, if you just look at my Discord, you will find at least about 60 of them or so. So then again, I haven't been active on my Facebook page in a long time, and I probably won't be either. So gotta focus here. That was a little bit too close for comfort. Hold it together, don't hit the rock. The armor does also like drifting off-road, obviously, but it is much more predictable than the last car. Well, not predictable, because you could always tell when the tail would step out on the last car. It was just, you know, it just had less grip, so the tolerance for the throttle was much lower. It would step out much sooner. But as long as you were aware of that, the last car was actually pretty predictable. So for here, the armor is much quicker. Underestimated how tight that corner was. Much more nimble, this one, than the last car. I wouldn't be surprised to see this car be a minute faster than the last car at the finish line, and I'm not even joking here. This corner actually tightens, I forgot. welcome back. You missed, I think, one car. Because the first car did, what, an 8:17? Don't lose it now. Okay, not quite under 7 minutes, but 7:02. $7:02. What did I say? Over a minute faster than the other car. So the armor once again with a blistering time. That's gonna be hard to beat. Do you watch Bad Obsession Motorsport? No, actually, I've never heard of that series. Having been with Thomas for several years, there's a lot of variance between which challenges get higher entries, views, and which get less obvious. Yeah, certain areas and genres of automobiles are far more popular to the automation building community. Absolutely, yes. So what I what I want to say is that only based on my more recent videos on the channel, or the ones from last year, just not really that recent at this point anymore, but I made a couple of community challenges last year as well, and okay, rev this thing up to the max. Okay. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that the challenge that did the best, the one that got the most views, was the automation drift car challenge. So obviously drifting is a pretty popular topic on the internet. Unsurprisingly. So I'm not surprised at all that that was the challenge that did the most, that did the best. Surprisingly, so far this car actually feels pretty good here. I don't think it did. Actually, it did do relatively well in the last two races, didn't it? It was like 4th, 5th, or something. Now. Yeah, it was at least a year ago that we played Forza Horizon 4 together. It's crazy. I even started a stream series called Forza Forza Friday, when the game was still relatively fresh, and I streamed every Friday about a game that was very popular at the time. Still kind of is, but obviously now that it's aged, it's lost some of its player base, of course, as most games do. Except League of Legends, perhaps. But yeah, nobody watched Forza Friday, so eventually I quit that series, because who am I doing it for, you know? Yeah. Okay, we're good. Relax, chat, it was just a drift tab. And now that I said that, I'm probably gonna have a big impact soon. Whoa, okay. A little bit more sideways than I was going for there, but you still want to drive relatively cleanly off-road. Sure, a little bit of drift is good to keep up the momentum somewhat, but you don't want to be, you know, huge angle fully sideways the whole time, because that is not fast. I'm gonna read that in a second. Okay, yeah. Well, Forza Horizon 4 did come out like October 2018, I think. Sometime around that. And yeah, I was like, okay, you know what? I used to like playing Forza Motorsport 3, I think it was, on a friend's Xbox. I always really liked playing that over at his place. But at the time I was always like, okay, you know what? I don't have an Xbox, and I'm not buying an Xbox and a TV, because I don't have one. Just for one game, you know, it's a bit excessive. So I have a PC, but at the time when I played that game with him, Forza wasn't available on PC. But then I think when the Horizon 2, I think, was the first game that came out on PC, and that was when I was first considering buying that at the time, but I didn't have money at the time. But when Forza Horizon 4 came out, and I saw how good it was gonna be, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pre-order, and I got a pre-order car because of that. It's the McLaren 720S pre-order edition. Whoa, steady. And that was that car is absurd in Horizon 4. It's definitely one of the fastest track cars, although there are faster cars these days. Yeah, Forza Horizon 4 is a good game, but I would have to download it again, and it's like nearly 100 gigabytes. Nearly 100 gigabytes for a freaking racing game. This corner is deceptively tight, so brake early. Yep, there we go. Look at that, pretty close to the armor. 708. I have a feeling my eyes aren't thankful for the quarantine. Yeah. The thing is, I have a work from home job and have had that for a bit over a year and a half now. So what I'm saying is I'm not bragging by any means, but what I'm saying is that I have made sure that I have an ergonomic and comfortable chair. I have made sure that my monitors have like a low blue light mode to kind of make the screens less damaging to my eyes. So all of that is of course very important if you want to do a job like this long term. But the side effect of that is also that I can, stare into a screen for longer without getting eye fatigue or without, other damages to my eyes or whatever. I would have bought FH4 if the roads were thinner and there were Corsa Bs and Cs. Okay. Oh, you're gonna get it for your birthday. Nice. I feel like this car's strong suit is gonna be the engine pulling up those between those hairpins. Very clean through there. Whoa, a little bit of a drift there. Whoa, what was going on there? It became all slidey there. And it is pulling to the right now. I'm gonna go for a quick reset, I'm sorry, but I feel like this car can do better. Hold it together here. There we go. There's Project Cars, Need for Speed, yeah. In fact, Project Cars 2 is one of the games that I have kind of wanted to try out for a while. Whoa, that was close to that rock there. Kind of uncomfortably close. Oh, come on. Did I say it's not, it doesn't matter how long the car is? Here you saw an example of where it was important. Because when you kick the rear out in this one, because there's so much torque relative to most other cars here, it does like to get pretty big angles off-road, so I'm gonna keep going. Oh, okay. Still fine. Yeah, off-road the armor was just much better, much more controlled. But on tarmac I feel like this might be able to claw a little bit of time back. Sorry for not talking very much, I gotta focus here. Now. Time is actually not looking bad at all in spite of the spin. But can the armor Business Coupe win this one? I feel like if it was ever gonna win one stage, one particular stage, then it was gonna be this one. The armor, that is. Oh, we gotta hurry up, we don't have much time if we wanna catch the armor. I don't want to lose it now though. Okay, so we didn't catch the armor. Did we get second place though? Yes, we did. Oh my god, just 1 second ahead of the BAC. One of my favorite racing driving is V Rally 3, and that game isn't to gods like Forza and GT is. I hope my car should be easy to drive, but I'm bad generally making things easy. Okay, okay. I think the only type of car I can slay in automation is minivans. I also enjoy taking some terrible normal car and racing it against Corvettes and Skylines. Yeah. So see, this is why I love and still do, by the way. This is why I still love Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. Is because you just had so many cars that with even upgrades they were all very similar in performance. Sure, they all handled it slightly differently, but Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 just had such a balance. Like, if you had full upgrades in Need for Speed Underground 1, it basically didn't matter which car you chose, because they were all good. There wasn't anything that was, you know, complete trash, and there wasn't anything that was completely dominant either. So I feel like that was, in terms of game balance, they did a fantastic job there, and I think that was that's why I will always fondly remember the Need for Speed Underground series, and I'm sad that that it ended so early. With that being said, has anyone tried out Need for Speed Heat? You know, the newest one. Is that any good? We have the Falcon Coupe here, which did try to step out on me there, but I was able to catch it. And this is another car that I feel could be very competitive here, because it was in the last 2 races. But I feel like particularly here, because the long first gear might actually be an advantage here between all these hairpins, because as long as you can keep the revs sort of up here, you can put the power down, and it should be able to get away more quickly from those hairpins than most other cars here. And look at that speed. It is a little bit unstable though when you're going a bit more quickly. So you gotta be careful. It does bite, this car. Oh, come on, there was a lot of understeer there. The car simply wouldn't turn, so we lost some time there. But how is this thing off-road in Italy? I'm a little bit scared because it... Oh, okay, just a flesh wound. I'm a little bit scared because it is kind of... It does like to wiggle its hips, even on tarmac. This corner is also very tight. Made it very well through there. Much better than the competition rally, that's for sure. You know what? This isn't bad at all here. Oh, come on. No. Right when I said, I think I got the hang of it. That's karma. This car will, by the way, I will not give this a DNF because this car is good. And that was 100% my own mistake. Sure, mistakes like this happened in 1957 in real life as well, and even with good cars, but then again, I feel like this is too strong of a competitor to just end its run there. I feel like this can genuinely do well here. It may even... I'm gonna come straight out of this. I think this can win this track. Let's try and break earlier here this time. Better transition this time. Be careful here. Thankfully those traffic signs, you can just go through them. Now let's be careful here. The camber there is very, very tricky. Come on. Didn't want to hit the rock there at the immediate exit of the corner, so that's why I backed off the throttle a little bit. Come on. Oh no. Now what do I do? you can't revert. You can't revert there. Oh my goodness. This is all my mistake, by the way, so. The car is brilliant here. Said it before. Do a 99-point turn and then come last? That wouldn't do this car justice at all. It's better than that. Much better. You think I'm trying too hard? Maybe that is something, so maybe I am. First of all, I'm trying to be as quick as I can be with all of these cars. But I feel like it was a mental thing, being like, oh crap, I already crashed the car once, and so now I'm gonna try to make up for it, and I think that was what it was, a mental thing more than anything. Now let's try and make it through the off-road section in one piece, shall we? Because the car is great on tarmac. Close to the rock there. Be careful of the camber there. The car is very unstable here though. Okay, there we go. So again, this I don't think I ever said that this was the best car off-road in the first two races either. So that's just how it goes though. Each car has its own strengths and weaknesses. The armor is, for example, very good off-road. And I think this track has the longest off-road section of any of them. Well, pretty sure it does. Definitely like 8 times longer than in Utah. Probably longer compared to the overall run length than in automation as well. On the automation track, I should say. But now we're back on tarmac. Still doing well here. This is gonna be right near the top, I feel like. Oh, surprisingly, it did not catch the armor. It did not catch the competition rally or the BAC. Really close between these three cars here, but it did came fourth after all. Okay. Yeah, I honestly expected this to actually comfortably beat this one even on this particular track, but it didn't. Now, however, one of the two cars that didn't finish the previous race. So I'm gonna cut this. With this one, I'm gonna cut it short if the car becomes undrivable very early, and I have a horrible accident. Then I'm not gonna bother resetting, 7 times. I'm just gonna come straight out of that. I might give it a second try, maybe a third, but after that I'm just gonna call it DNF again. Why does this car not turn? Compare the way this took that hairpin to the way the Falcon took that same hairpin. This is miles slower. Yeah, this doesn't have very big front tires at all, and the reason for that is obviously because it's rear-engined. We're fine. That was just a little chip, a little bit of body damage. But yeah, for this particular car, the rear engine layout didn't work out, just put it that way. I think there's only one car in the competition that used the rear engine layout well, And that car was the Trilobite. Didn't actually lose the car there, surprisingly. And yeah, so the Trilobite is definitely also one of my favorites here, a real dark horse. Because here, its low top speed doesn't really matter, and its very short gearing might be perfect for here. I'm surprised I'm still on the track in this car. It was absolutely horrible in Utah, but here... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still not great here, but it feels more manageable here than in Utah. Come on now. Turn! On now. Low torque. Okay, there we go. Oh no. Just as I was gonna say that here this car handles actually decently. It has turn and oversteer. And by the way, we did not damage any of the suspension. The car is still fine mechanically, although there is a little bit of aesthetic damage. Cosmetic damage, sorry. I can't believe I'm gonna finish apparently in the first run in this car, but didn't manage to finish first try in the Falcon, which is objectively a much better driving car. Yeah, but here I'm trying to be more careful because I know it's a tricky one. With the Falcon, maybe I was a little overconfident. Well, it's not over yet. And the car was trying to sort of pendulum swing there again. we go. 752. Not last, actually. Yeah, this is much slower, of course. But it is not the slowest car. So, I'm gonna mute myself for a second because I'm gonna have a little drink. Alrighty, so you should be hearing me again. Next up is the HOS Vilna, and then the LLMC. Yeah. So the LLMC is gonna be a car that's gonna be... It's gonna be very, very difficult. It always has been, but particularly here, I think that the LLMC might unfortunately get another DNF, but I'm gonna try, you know. I thought the same about the Halpin Scorpion, which turned out to be not terrible. Not the fastest, obviously, but manageable. Alright, this is the bouncy boy again. Yeah, for whatever reason this car bounces like no other car here. Is it a case of like stiff springs but soft dampers or something like that? Let's see how this is off-road here. So off-road, the suspension seems more planted. It does still bounce around though. Maybe it seems more planted because we're going more slowly now. Oh no. Okay, it's just cosmetic damage. This actually got stuck on that tree with the rear end. No mechanical damage. This is definitely one of the physically biggest cars here. And that makes it a little bit more difficult to navigate through these very... No! I was trying not to go off. I was braking to because I could see it happening. And I was trying to... Oh my god. I was feeling that was gonna have a problem there, so I tried braking preemptively, but it didn't work. And that's really close to the end of the off-road section as well, so that was like 4 minutes in, so there I go, the last 4 minutes of stream time, and obviously I'm not gonna end the stream before I'm done with all the cars, and we have how many more to go? 6? 7? Oh, not 7. Actually, after this we may only have 4 more, I think. So be mindful of this car's size off-road, because the path is very narrow and things like that can happen at any time. But that's how it was in the 50s, you know? That's how it was. It is a 57 sedan, not a Chevy sedan, but it is a 1957 sedan. Good point. Actually, no, it's only got 2 doors, so it's a coupe. Try and not get stuck on that tree there. There we go. Hit the throttle early there to make it turn around to hairpin. Actually worked out pretty nicely. Now after this hairpin is where it gets really tight. Because you can see what's on the right side. And on the left side there is nothing until a couple of meters down. So yeah, try and keep it under control. Oh. Had to slow down there, lift off. Okay, and we're good. We're back on tarmac. Come on. I don't think there's any more cars apart from these. I don't know what do you mean with these. There's the LLMC coming up next, which is probably not gonna finish, although it might surprise me. Then there's the very adequately named Model 8 Trim 8, the truck. The Trilobite is still left to go. And I think there is one more. And I think there's another one, another large sedan. That's still left to go. Look at the chat for a split second there. Almost went straight into that rock. There I didn't look away. I was fully looking at the race there. But I was not expecting this car to oversteer right there, because it hadn't power oversteered before. Well, except on gravel, obviously, but... Still, I think this is not gonna be the slowest time, because we're almost at the finish line. It wasn't gonna beat the top spots anyway. But it will finish in a 7:44. Whew, okay. Look at that gap. 7:02, 7:07, 7:08, 7:09, 7:44. Look at that gap. That's the gap between the best cars here and the rest. And I was anticipating that. I said that, I think, right at the start. Oh yeah, the Mekka Type 1R, I forgot about that. Now the LLMC. Look, I'm gonna give this... I'm gonna see if this is drivable whatsoever here. Because the Halpin did actually surprise me here. Maybe this can do the same. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna give it a DNF because nobody got time for me trying 18 times. And I don't know why Beam always reloads the entire track when all you do is is spawn a different car. Because if you cross the finish line and then press R, it resets you here immediately without having to load anything. So in theory, it should do the same when you just change car. These are the corners where I'm scared. The sort of fast bend in between the hairpins. Hairpins themselves should be okay, but the bends in between, and especially the corners off-road, is what I'm scared about with this car. Because up until here, I'm sure if you clocked the previous cars, up until here this is probably one of the fastest cars because it got one of the best power to weight ratios, and oh, here we go. The slightest bit of steering input above a certain speed, and this thing is just going off. You have to be just absolutely on top of your game at any given time. If you want to even finish in this car, let alone set a good time. Again, these sort of high-speed corners between the hairpins is what I'm scared about. See, did go slower intentionally there, but that's of course not ideal if you want to place well. If you do want to finish at all, though, then it's probably the strategy to go. This does feel torquey, this does feel very powerful because it's so light. It isn't actually the most powerful car in the field, but I think this has the best power to weight ratio. Again, be very gentle with the steering inputs here. Now for the off-road section, where I feel like this car is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. I'm really focusing here. Trying to use the torque. this looks easy to you, trust me, it isn't. I'm scared of these corners as well. Yep. Come on. Stop swinging. There we go. Straighten out the pendulum, which you can't always rely on, so... Whoa. Started there as well. The thing is, unlike the Halpin, which is also rear-engined but doesn't turn in at all, this turns in extremely quickly, probably too quickly for its own good. Don't lose it here. Don't lose it. Okay, we're still good. No mechanical damage that I can feel. And dude, the crazy thing is, if I look at the split times, this is right up there, I think, with the best cars so far. Come on. But also, I don't want to lose this run now. So I don't want to push it 100% now, because I know how easy it is to lose this car. It does let go very, very quickly and easily, like right there. And I could have easily fallen off right there. $7.13. Now, very quick time, much quicker than I had anticipated. And I'm sure if you were braver than me, you could definitely get up there in second place there. First place, not sure, but I'm happy I'm still alive. No. So let's get into the Mekka. Oh my, that was easily the most difficult run so far. 3 more cars to go though. And I do expect great things from the trilobite, so that could definitely shake up the top couple of spots again. He can feel the stress here. Cars with more weight on the rear wheels can have a tendency to initially understeer with throttle application and then oversteer suddenly. This is called snap oversteer, and this is exactly what happens with the LLMC and also with the Halpin Scorpian. Although the LLMC does also have turn-in oversteer, which makes it more difficult to control. Whoa, what was that about? Did I pull the handbrake there? I didn't press a button, maybe. Is my controller broken or is the brake bounce just completely... Okay, there we go. I think at Utah I named this the easiest car to drive. So that's why I was surprised that it would completely spin out there in the first corner. But look at that, I'm not pulling the handbrake and for some reason it... Okay, so on this tarmac it is a lot less grippy. Good to know. Still easier than the LLMC by miles. But it doesn't feel very fast. Maybe it can make up some time here. Again, we have to be cautious of this thing's size. I did use the handbrake there intentionally to bring it around a little bit more quickly. Gonna just do the same here. Wow. That was a big angle right there. If I had gone on the throttle earlier there, I would have been right in that rock. So, had to lift off. Keep it together here. The path is very narrow and can go wrong at any time. Not because the car is hard to drive, but because the track is. Okay. Pretty smooth. Yeah, this is compared to the LLMC. Like, these are kind of two extremes. The LLMC with its huge potential performance, incredible power to weight, but really difficult to drive. And then this, which I think has among the worst power to weight ratios in the field, but super steady, very controllable. But I don't think it's going to be very fast. Alright, so we're gonna finish this first try, and it's not even gonna be half bad. $7:31, decent run. So we are ahead of the HOS, ahead of the Halpin, and ahead of the R3.0. Right. Second to last car, the Model 8 Trim 8. Here we go. This is another one of those cars that was really difficult to drive on the automation track. Not that difficult in Utah, but I am worried about this thing's brakes here, because on this track, brakes are incredibly important. So we're gonna see how this goes. Man, they could really optimize Beam a bit better in terms of when you just change car on the same track. Like, why does it have to load so long each time? Brake now. And as you can see at the speedo, it does very little. And that's not very encouraging when you also have the most powerful engine in the field. Most powerful engine, least powerful brakes. Not a good combination. Especially on a track like this. Oh, okay, that was my bad. I forgot this was a truck. not go on the curbs. Message to myself. Then again, this has a very, very aggressive front end in terms of how quickly the front end turns into a corner. So it's difficult to stay away from the curbs because it just turns in so quickly. But you can see it flying up that hill relatively to the other cars. We just have to brake super early. Once this engine does get above 6,000 RPM, it feels very powerful indeed. Okay, brake now. Almost still too late. I thought I was braking early, but in this it was almost too late, even still. Can this make use of its power at all? Well, in the previous races it couldn't. Come on now. Oh, come on. No mechanical damage to report. But yeah, I think the Trilobite is definitely gonna be a great car here. And it can definitely rank among the top cars. It's proven that in the last two races as well. But because of how close together the top like 4 or 5 cars here are, it could really do more than just rank well. It could potentially even win the Trilobite, I think. Maybe it's lacking a little bit in this short, faster section right here, but then again, I was wrong about the Falcon as well. I thought that could potentially win, and to be fair, it's only 2 seconds off of second place. Admittedly, 7 seconds off of first, but unfortunately the Falcon is only in 4th place at the moment. Again, braking very early, but still almost too late. Well, it was... Sure, I'm gonna let you know if you won overall. You didn't win this race, by the way. Currently, the leader is the Armor Coupe, but in the overall standings, I believe you should still be ahead. It's close, though. And again, this finished much better here than it did in the at the automation track. Actually, there I think it came sixth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it didn't finish better here. Is there gonna be extra points for looks? No, because I don't wanna be I don't think I can make a I don't think I can make it so that it's unbiased. So what I mean by that is I can tell you which car I think looks best, but then that's only my opinion, and viewers might think differently. You know, I could make a poll, but even still, then we run into the situation where the poll might might say one car looks best, but then another player would go like, oh, but I thought it, so me thought it looked best. So it's like it I don't think there's a way of making that fair, so I'm just gonna leave it out entirely. But anyway, we're getting to our last car here. The trilobite. Pressure's on. Could have taken that much more quickly, that corner. I forget how agile this car is. Even on the throttle. Sure, pulling up the hill here with the long fourth gear is gonna be a bit difficult. But I believe that especially in the off-road section, where we can probably keep this thing bouncing between second and third gear, which are very aggressive, I think that especially there, this is going to be very, very good. And even here, look at it. Sure, and now it's running a little bit out of power, but on now. Why did you have to understeer there? Come on. Why do you understeer so hard all of a sudden? I even lifted off a long time before that corner. If we didn't damage the front suspension, which I don't think we did there. I don't know what's going on. Like 90% of times this car feels really agile, but then sometimes all of a sudden it oversteers, it understeers really badly. I think this car does pull to the left, but actually, yeah, it does. But even so, I'm gonna carry on, see how fast I can. Whoa, that was not intended, by the way, to drift through there like that. Still gonna keep it moving here. Come on. By the way, when I first checked this car out in automation off camera, I noticed that the engine has an extremely bad torque curve, where you know, basically the torque below 4500 is or so RPM is like really flat but low, and then all of a sudden, just like VTEC, it comes on. Whoa! Not the prettiest finish. Oh my! It almost beat the LLMC, which was surprisingly competitive here to begin with. But nonetheless, we are done now. We have the results. The winner of this race is going to be the Armor Motors Business Coupe, followed by the Competition Rally. And since the Competition Rally was 2 points ahead overall before this race, that means it will take the win overall. So let's go through the results. So Armor Business Coupe, first place with 10 points. Then we have the Competition Rally, second place, 9 points. We have the BAC in third place and the Falcon in fourth. Then we have the LLMC in fifth, the Trilobite in sixth. Then we have the Model 8 Trim 8 in 7th and the Mekka in 8th. All the cars finished this time, by the way. Sorry, what the Mekka was 8th. Then we have the HOS and then the Halpin. The Halpin taking 10th place, so it'll get 1 point. Okay, so overall this means. Do you have the individual lap times for each car? It'd be interesting to see total time it took each car to complete the different tracks combined. I don't have that. No, I'm sorry. But anyway, so overall, the Competition Rally managed 29 out of a possible 30 points. Closely followed by the Armor, which managed 28 points, and then I would have to do the rest of the scoring. I believe that the third place is gonna go to the Falcon. So it's 7, 8, and 7. That means 22 points. The Trilobite gets 8, 6, and 5 points respectively, so that is 19 points. But anyway, I'm gonna do the math and post the results in the YouTube export of this later on. But so for now, the important part is that overall. So this stage was won by the Armor Business Coupe. Overall winner is the Competition Rally by Ladafan01 aka Random41. So congratulations to the two of you. And yeah, Random41, you're gonna get the Ferrari. Now do you really, if you really want to make, if you really want to see me suffer, do you want to see this as we wrap up the stream? An Italian car at Italy? I don't want to bin this Ferrari. But let's try it. No. It's fine. Famous last words, by the way. It'll be fine. I don't think that I've only crashed 12 cars this month. It's fine. Yeah. In the last race, by the way, on Utah, we had 2 DNFs, and this time we had none. And that is even though, objectively speaking, this track is probably more difficult than Utah. But just the balance of those rear-engined cars was so off, particularly for Utah, apparently, that it made a much bigger difference there than it does here. Considering that this is the heaviest car here that we've tried, it isn't the least nimble, let me tell you. It's a Ferrari, of course, you're gonna say, but then again, it weighs like 300 kilograms more than the average car in the competition here, so you gotta consider that. But here, up the hill, obviously, it is much quicker because it has a 220 horsepower V12. Unstable there a little bit. As you would be if you are a 50s Ferrari. They didn't have downforce, you know. And again, as I mentioned in the video of for this as the prize car, do keep in mind this only came on 175mm tires from the factory. 175s when everything else in the field is on 195s. And this is more powerful than everything else here, so very easy to get the background for that corner. Okay, just a dent. The local Ferrari dealer is gonna fix that for $5,000, or rather 50,000. Don't go off. It's surprisingly not bad here. Dude, when you let that V12 sing, it is so much quicker than everything else here. It is doing surprisingly well up until this checkpoint. Oh no! Forgot this corner was actually tight. So we are gonna finish first try here. $709. This would have placed it pretty far up, even though this is not even remotely tuned for rallying. Yeah. Don't think there's many cheap Ferraris on other trader as spares and repairs. Yeah, not for this one, I can tell you. Definitely not for this one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and the series. The rules video for the 1964 season should be up on YouTube by now. So you can check that out if you want to enter the next season. It's going to be 1964, and this time front wheel drive will be allowed, and there's a couple of other changes to the rules as well. You can use mods, but again, the build should be the automation, the official build, not the open beta, so the public build instead. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for watching. I would be happy to see you again in the next season as well. And until then, have a good one. See you next time. Bye bye.